Hi people, Thomas Godber checking in with you. I've come to a festival actually called Buddhafield, and it's very different from most festivals. It's not hedonistic, it's actually alcohol and drug free, and people really stick to that because they recognise that they'd like to celebrate consciously, they want to be happy consciously and explore themselves and grow themselves. So I'm interested to see what some of the people who've come to this festival think in terms of how to get the work-life balance that could be good for us, and apologise in advance for the very white face, my very white face from the luscious organic sun cream that I've been lathering over me. So I'd just like to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is you're really busy and part of the rat race, working your nuts off 9 to 5 or maybe 8 in the morning till 6 or 7 at night, and 1 is just bumbling about, basically a bit of a bum, carefree, or just doing completely what you love and nothing else, where would you say you might be on the scale?
Probably a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite successful in terms of getting a bit of work-life balance in there.
Yeah, I do a kind of conventional job 3 days a week.
Oh, okay.
So that, and I feel like that kind of keeps me in touch with that world as well. So it feels like a healthy balance. And then 4 days a week is kind of more my creative life and you know, developing sort of self-employed projects and fun things to do and stuff like that.
10 being in rat race.
Yeah, 10 being completely in the rat race.
I'd say 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Yeah,
wow, how did you achieve that? Wow.
I'm in self-employed carer for people.
Okay.
So it's on my own, like on my own terms in a way. When I like, I can save up a lot of money very quickly, and then I'm free to do what I want in the other time. And then I also enjoy my work. I think it's I develop and grow in my work, and it's something that I've consciously chosen to go into.
Can I just bow down to you, because I really admire where this lady has got to.
Yeah. May you find your freedom in.
Maybe 3.
How did you manage to get to that kind of level?
I'd say I was 3. I suppose by simplifying what I need massively.
Okay.
So, you know, like I've been living off grid for 20 years, so I don't have to pay bills, I don't have to pay rent. Yeah. You know, I haven't got a car at the moment, I've got a phone, so I've reduced the amount of money that I need to very little. Yeah. So at the moment I'm living off money that I made over the winter. I've been doing lots of different things. I was teaching bushcraft to women on hen parties in the woods, so that was quite a lot of fun.
Amazing, wow.
But this winter I've just been working as a healthcare assistant in a hospital, doing bank nursing. I do want to see if I can make some money from my songs. I would hope in the future to really be making my money from work that I love, you know, but I do spend more time living than working.
You say you don't have a house that you live. Where do you sleep?
Well, I have been living in a little round house made out of a cider barrel.
Wow.
So, you know, like cider's made in these massive oak vats. Yeah. And so, I mean, I've been living in benders, which are made out of canvas and hazel poles. I've been living in yurts, which are made out of canvas and hazel poles. I've built my own roundhouse. I've been living in this roundhouse that's made out of a cider barrel. And at the moment, I'm living in a little horse-drawn wagon.
Have you ever gone on a bender in a bender?
I'm sure I have, yeah. I'm sure there's been many benders in my bender.
I'm sure you have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One of the awesome things about an alcohol and drug-free environment is that it's very family-friendly, so you can see a lot of children everywhere. A friend of mine's brought his children here, and they're absolutely having the best time of their life. I'm slightly jealous of their childhood, really.
Probably 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
On that spectrum.
Okay.
It's a slightly tricky spectrum. I work with social enterprises and charities.
Okay.
And I do business consultancy, management, finance.
Oh wow.
Work.
That's quite
in the social change world.
So would you say that perhaps being in that field of social change makes you more willing to put in the time required to get the job done?
Definitely.
Maybe?
It's absolutely a passion project.
Yeah.
And I feel really lucky because I've only ever really worked for, you know, the stuff that I want to work, you know, for myself. Yeah. On the things I want to work for. I never turn up for the money. Yeah. And I'm lucky that I also get.
So that's amazing. So we're saying perhaps that the work life, they don't necessarily have to be separate, work and life.
That's it. It's hard to separate. So on the one hand, I work bloody hard and really long hours.
Yeah.
On the other hand, as a freelancer, I have complete freedom.
I've just attended an interesting workshop called the neuroscience of happiness. Having too much fight or flight response nowadays in our civilized society is just not good for us, which is what often happens when we are in the rat race, trying to prove ourselves and make lots of money. That can push us into perhaps anxiety, and then we use up all our chemicals through the anxiety, which then plummets down quite easily into depression. We've got no chemicals left, so we experience depression. And the balance is somewhere in between, which we can achieve through, rather than trying to push ourselves always, we can achieve through reflection, thinking, talking, interacting with others, coming up with solutions and believing it might be possible to change. Now, some people don't seem to have any concept of work or life as a sort of dichotomy at all. They don't even see themselves as part of the system in any way. So let's meet Tim.
I did a lot of rehab in my 20s, and then I did a lot of radical youth activism.
Yes.
European radical youth activism.
And do you feel that that was sort of sustaining enough for you to feel that you've been productive in this world so far?
As for sustaining and maintaining, I do manifesting more than effort. Part of the madness, if you like, is the freneticness of this mentality that requires we are doing effort. Our presence on this planet is purely a choice that we made to come and experience this third dimensional experience.
You've been a millionaire twice.
Well, that was through effort and push. And I went to America and I joined the Grateful Dead family, and I had a product. On my 30th birthday, I actually went to a Grateful Dead concert with people who were friends of the inner family, and they saw the product that I had, and they went, wow.
What was this product?
Okay, they were the original Glastonbury boot. I took them to America, they went bing bang bosh. I had a mail order business, I opened up a boutique in Santa Barbara, which became a big flash for all the Zibby Zabby stars. So they all went to my boutique and made me a lot of money. The Californian dream. I arrived in California with $30 in my pocket.
Wow.
On the Friday afternoon. On the Monday morning, a bank manager gave me 20 grand. I never ever had any ambition to become anything. I never ever wanted to own anything. When I made all that money, I just kept throwing it back to England. I wouldn't condone anybody to go off and do drugs of any sort. I came out of this children's home that I found myself in, as a 3-year-old, 15 and a half, nearly 16, I was taking LSD in Amsterdam. That was my university. When I was a young man, I was taking people who had never experienced LSD to Wales, to a hippie commune in a little minibus. There were doctors and wives, policemen, and Mr. and Mrs. Joe Bloggs, and they were, and we'd do group tripping together, and it's about getting in touch with and opening your mind and getting in touch with your spiritedness. I've got a lot of children, and they all, I love them all dearly, and they love me all dearly. I've got half a dozen of them here, and they all used to, join their mums and their granddads and their uncles about calling me a strange one, a weirdo, and out of the ordinary. Well, what's actually happened? Both my older daughters, the ones who are well, I've just one who's just given me my first grandchild. Both said to me, Dad, you're pretty much Mr. Mainstream, aren't you now?
So you said that you've had a lot of children. I presume that was with more than one partner, and lots of them are here. So how have you sort of navigated the stormy seas of relationships?
I love all the women as much as I've always done. I've never played this game of me, you, pull me, push you. We all pretty much get on pretty well.
How many children do you have?
That pregnant belly there walking by is my 12th.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it'll be my 12th.
Gosh, well thank you so much. I think I might go and join this shamanic trance dance. So I've just come out of the shamanic trance dance, and to be honest, I'm still really processing everything I went through. Really, really powerful stuff. Again, no drugs, just purely, I won't give it away in case you ever want to try it, but lot of kind of stories in my mind, really.
I would say I was about 5 at the moment, because I recently, well, about a year ago, I negotiated with my work to go down to a 4-day week.
Okay.
Just specifically because I felt that I didn't have a good work-life balance, and I was totally overworking. I was feeling quite stressed, and I decided that I needed to spend more time with my kids. I needed to spend more time doing the stuff that I love. Yoga, playing guitar, hanging with friends, doing art, and I made a conscious decision to actually scale back a little bit on the kind of work ambitions and kind of really pushing myself and actually try and enjoy life a little bit more. And I was reading a lot of books about, you know, like the power of now and things like that, and it just really really made me believe in a very kind of visceral way that I needed to be enjoying now, and everything was in the present that I needed. And I think it's the best decision I've ever made in my life, because now I'm really loving life and I'm feeling balanced.
Have you been to Buddhafield Festival before?
Yeah, I think this is my
8th time?
Yeah, 8th Buddhafield.
Right, and what draws you, what would you say perhaps in 3 sentences that really draws you to Buddhafield?
So one is just the utter sense of openness that you get from everybody you meet here. I mean, there's just a pure openness, joy, love, and it's just, I've never found that at another festival. Partly it's to do with the fact that it's a drug and alcohol-free festival, but you just, when you look into somebody's eyes, and you look into many people's eyes at Buddhafield Festival, you really get the sense that people are present and they're conscious and they're doing good work here, and it's an amazing feeling to be able to be held by 2,000 or 3,000 people, and it feels like every workshop you go into, you're receiving something back that's really positive. So that's one of them. Another one is just the freedom. You know, people walk around here in every kind of dress and no dress, and talk openly about any topic that you like, and there's workshops spanning the spectrum, and it's just so there's that. It's the freedom, it's the love, it's the many things.
Around about 1.
How did you get there? So to 1, would you say?
Well, last week I left my job. I'd been working part-time for a number of years.
Okay.
So I'd reduced my hours down to 3 days a week. Luckily I've paid off my mortgage.
Okay.
So my children have left home.
Yeah.
Sadly my wife passed away a few years back.
Right.
So yeah, I've got some lodgers. I've got 3 spare rooms.
Okay.
So I've got an income from that. So now I want to spend a lot more time not chasing my tail around.
What would you say you like about Buddhafield?
I love the ethos. I love Buddhism. I love the ethos and the values of Buddhism. I wouldn't describe myself as a Buddhist.
Right.
But I think that the principles of compassion and acceptance and of love are the great principles, and we should all, if we can, aspire towards living those principles and let go of some of our fears and our conditioned needs, and just live a lot more simply.
Do you mind if I give you a hug on camera?
No. Yeah, I like hugs.
Good.
Let's get some color. All good.
Too much thinking, overloading your mind.
I'd probably place myself as a 5. I'm personally, I don't really like work.
I'd say I'm feeling about a 4.
A 4?
Yeah,
right, okay.
I'd say at the moment I kind of tend to work in, you know, extreme periods for a few months and then take like a lot of time off.
I've just noticed that my my sun cream is looking very, very weird.
You look like a guru has just like, you know, initiated you.
It depends on what part of the week you're talking about. The 5 days during the week, I am at a 10, and the 10, and the weekend. It's totally at a. Did you say 0 was the lowest, or the 1 was the lowest?
1 was the lowest. Yeah.
It's at a 1.
Would you say that model works for you well?
Absolutely. Yeah. Indeed, it does.
Do you think that has something to do with the job, that you perhaps enjoy your job?
Yes, and I intend to work past my normal retirement age because I enjoy it so much. I'm a computer programmer. I specialise in Linux kernel device driver development. My free time is no longer free because I've decided what I want to do with it. And I competitively play bridge, which is a card game.
Yes.
So 5 evenings a week when I'm away from home.
Yeah.
I work hard. I play hard at bridge.
Yeah.
And at the weekend I go home to my wife and we have quality time together. So my life might be at a 10, but it's a 10 of my choosing. Yeah. And together it forms a perfect balance.
Yes.
2.
Really?
So I'm not bad, I'm getting there. I don't live anywhere. I'm with Buddhafield all through the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of a kind of a role.
Yes.
I've just got this sense of openness, freedom, transience. Life is good. I feel I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
So I'm just going to bow down just in honour of that, if that's okay with you. So, thank you. So I arrived at Buddhafield with some questions, and I thought that these are just going to be lots of crazy, funny answers, and there have been many of those wonderfully inspiring and crazy answers to my question. But also it has actually really made me reflect on and given me confidence in daring to kind of climb out of the system, as people love to call it. Interestingly, of course, there was one man who said he did 10 out of 10 in terms of the work load, and yet he's totally happy. So it does really depend on many factors, how much you love your job. What really sticks with me is the words of some of the people who've had the most courage to do radically different things with their lives. Just thinking of that, a man who actually organises Buddhafield Festival himself. He doesn't have a home. I don't know what he does have, and yet he really looked to me like the picture of health, the picture of happiness, and the picture of the type of man I'd like to be in however many years, in some form perhaps. But whether or not I'm willing to throw everything away is another question. Of course, many factors will play into this. For you, it could be, are you happy renting or not? Some people we've met don't even have some people live on the road. Or are you happy with buying a 1-bedroom flat? Or does it need to be a 2-bedroom flat, or a 3-bedroom house, or a mansion, or billions of mansions just literally located everywhere? I'll leave that choice in your hands. Just take care and don't sacrifice too much along the way. But one thing I do know for sure is that all that very overly white sun cream hasn't really done a thing. Instead, I seem to have ended up with glitter